Hola, ¿qué pasa? Welcome to episode 26. It's Black Friday weekend. Go to Coffee&Kimuras.com and get up to 40% off everything. Watch this video first. Hola, ¿qué pasa? Welcome to Monday morning. I'm in the car. It is a very windy day and I'm on the way to the Northeast Creative Conversations thing that I mentioned last week that I'm on a panel. Why is that gone all weird? That I'm on a panel for. So don't really know what I have to speak about. I think there's going to be like small group discussions and then questions that come out of that are going to be given to the panel. So I'm going to have to make up some on the spot. So we'll see how that goes. Hola, ¿qué pasa? Welcome to Tuesday evening and welcome to traffic in Dublin. I am staying in Dublin tonight because I'm going to the World Summit tomorrow in the ODS, which I will talk about in a minute. Then today was a long day of meetings, signing off on a couple of websites, planning for a couple of animated videos for another client, then getting the guys ready for tomorrow because I'm not going to be in the office. So that was today really. And then tomorrow is the World Summit, so I'm looking forward to that. Gary Fox is interviewing Steven Bartlett. I think everyone pretty much knows who Steven Bartlett is at this stage, and that should be interesting. There's a couple of other good speakers on the day as well, and hopefully some interesting people that I'll get to speak to too, so looking forward to that. But as an extension of last week's video on the topic of idea development, I'm going to talk a little bit about brand development this week. So one thing that I didn't really touch on last week, and that I suppose is part of idea development but it's also part of brand development as well, is competitor research, market research, seeing what businesses are in the market, what they're doing, why they're doing it, and how they kind of come across, how they put themselves across. But then there's also not necessarily competitors, but using your name ideas and making sure that there's not going to be any copyright issues, any trademark issues, any brand confusion issues, any pronunciation issues either is another thing to think about. And then it gets into kind of mood boarding and coming up with a concept of how you want the brand to come across. So the main difference between what a brand is and what a logo is, the idea around brand identity, so that the brand voice, the tone of voice that you come across. Essentially, and I was actually speaking to one of the guys in the office today about this, is if you cover your logo on any of your material, any of your marketing material, your product packaging, your website, if you cover the logo, is it still clear that it's your brand? So obvious examples are, if you take a McDonald's chip packet, cover the M, it's still clearly McDonald's chip packet. If you take a Coca-Cola bottle and cover any logos, you'll know it's a Coca-Cola bottle. The glass version anyway. So they're obviously like top tier examples, but if you can't aim for top tier, then what's the point? So that's the basics. And why you would need to kind of mood board that out is to whether you have the skills and the capability and the capacity to be able to develop the brand yourself, or if you need to get in a consultant or an agency or designer of some sort to do that for you. It always is a good idea to mood board anything out. And it's something that I've started to do not just for brand development over the last while, but for content development as well, for photography, for videography, for styling, any kind of marketing material as well. Taking inspiration from other places, and it doesn't necessarily need to be directly from, let's say if we're talking about branding, it doesn't necessarily need to be another company logo or another brand. It can be anything. It can be, there's trees beside me, it can be a certain type of tree. So there's any kind of amount of places you can take creativity and inspiration from. Going to dig a little bit more into that over the next couple of days with a few more tips, so stick around. In the meantime, I'm going to sit in traffic and look at brake lights. Bye.
Overlook brands, like for example, like I'm currently wearing a watch called the Unislanda Freak,
which means that I'm very good at just really focusing on something when I can and accept.
Hola, ¿qué pasa? Welcome to Wednesday evening and welcome to more brake light highlighted face. My mood is a bit, well, I'm tired, it was a long day, but slightly emotional. Gary Fox, a guy who I've got to know quite well over the last couple of years, just interviewed Steven Bartlett, which was impressive. And in fairness, Steven Bartlett made his job very easy because he just kept talking and was really, really insightful. But that's not the reason why I'm a little bit emotional. Why I'm a little bit emotional is because I'm never going to get out of this car park. Why I'm a little bit emotional is because Gary asked him a question about imposter syndrome, and the answer he gave was about reframing how you view your situation, and there's too much in what he said to rehash it and to explain it as well as he did, and I kind of wish that I was able to access the recording of it, but it almost made me cry what he said, because of my own experience with imposter syndrome on a regular basis, and including this afternoon. It was a pleasure. Right, that's the emotional side done. Back to brand development tips tomorrow. I just want to go home now. Just like that, we're back in the office. It's Thursday morning. I am up and at it early. It is now 8 o'clock. I've been up here for a couple of hours, catching up on everything that I missed yesterday because I was pretty much, out of action all day. But it was a good day. Overall, I know I got a bit emotional yesterday evening, but overall it was quite good. The main takeaway I got from the day was the talks about AI. There was one guy in particular who did 2 or 3 talks about AI, who's partnered with a previous dragon from Dragon's Den, and that's what their business is focused on, is AI and implementing AI and guiding kind of businesses on how to use AI best to push their business forward and be most efficient with it. And it is something that we've kind of dabbled in. AirPods gone. Kind of dabble in, more so on the ZOMA side, but it is something that I'm, even for the blogs and for kind of pushing this a bit more, doing a bit more with social content, it's something that I'm going to do a little bit more. So there's a lot of things that, not that I didn't realize AI could do, but I just wasn't aware of the platforms because I haven't really looked into it. But I got a lot of kind of ideas off that guy yesterday, and I'm going to start looking into that over the next little while and seeing how we can implement that best, because I do agree with what he said, and obviously Steven Bartlett as well touched on it, is that AI is it's going to be incredible and there's no point leaning away from it. You have to lean into it, was the kind of take home message. Overall, the event, and I have to say this, no offense to the organizers, it was really well run and the speakers were great and everything, but it was essentially a big sales pitch and it was a little bit overkill, to be honest. And if I might have been interested in what they were trying to push, they killed it by the end of the day because it was too much. But whatever, that's a separate topic. Overall, I got a lot of value out of it, met a couple of cool people, opened some relationships, opened some doors, so that's good. That's all I wanted from the day, and I'm happy I got that. And yeah, very, very proud to see my good friend Gary doing what he did and being in that position. He's worked really, really hard over the last few years and it's been really motivating, and he's helped me a lot over the last couple of years as well. So yeah, really, really cool to see that. All right, what else? Nice delivery, yes. Delivery on Tuesday, but I only got to it this morning, obviously. Wait there. We have Decky McAleenan's walkout gear. So this has been, Decky just texted me. This has been on pre-order on the website for a month or so. We have a green version. Really, really cool. We have a white version. Also really, really cool. And there's white shorts there somewhere as well, but these are the green ones. And we didn't get these in bulk, these are just for Decky, who was supposed to be fighting in a couple of weeks. But yeah, we changed the cut slightly, so more of a curved cut. Oh, there's a low cut. There actually is a higher cut as well, because Decky specifically asked for a high cut right up to the waist. Up to the waistband, so I need to dig into the box and see where those are and just make sure they look okay. But everything else looks good. Very cool. Alright, off to the office. Welcome to Thursday evening. Hola, pasa, all that. Oh my god, what a day. I feel like I got absolutely nothing done. The day started by being blindsided with a Zoom call that I partially had forgotten about, partially wasn't told about in a way. But it went downhill from there. Just meetings, unexpected calls, unexpected meetings, unexpected Zoom calls, just felt like all day. So, oh god. Anyway, yeah, I did a recap this morning didn't I? Yeah, I did. So I'm going to continue with a very unenergetic continuation of the brand development piece that we've been talking about. And something to consider when you're thinking about, ooh, Shopify, bing, bing, ching, ching. Something to consider with your brand development is the placement and usage of where you're going to be using your brand. So is it a digital only brand? Is it a clothing brand? Is it going to be printed places? Is it going to be embroidered? And thinking about the detail that's going to be involved and things like that, and what considerations you're going to need in terms of how detailed the brand itself actually has to be, if it has to be quite minimal, and the animation potential of the brand as well. So look, it's a digital world, so regardless of if your brand is going to have a physical element to it or not, you're going to have a digital element, and animations are a really good way of getting that across in terms of digital advertising, etc. And yeah, you know what I mean. So that's another consideration to have when you're talking about brand development, is the animation of your brand identity, essentially your logo. So another thing to consider there. I think that's going to be really it for this week. Tomorrow I'm going to be in the office in the morning, and then I'm off to a wedding in the afternoon. So that is going to be exciting. But just before I finish up, this is episode 26, which means 6 months. It's been 6 months since I started these videos. That is insane. I did think I'd last this long because I had absolutely no intention of stopping, but there has been weeks where I've been like, oh, I don't know what to talk about this week. I don't have anything to say. I don't have any content. This is getting boring. Last week's video was how am I going to make this week's video good, on and on and on. But I've made it to 6 months, and I really appreciate everyone watching. Still over 70%, I think 75% now, so we're down from 77 to 75, but 75% of people watching aren't subscribed. So give us an old subscribe there, and we'll get that number down as much as we can, or maybe we'll get it up as much as we can and try and reach more people, and then get it down again. I don't know. Either way, subscribe. Thanks a million. 6 months, gonna keep this going. Ain't no stopping us now. Right, I'm getting energy now. This is good. But I'm going home. All right, bye. Just like that, we're back in the office. That was a terrible snap. There we go. That's better. I can't remember what the last thing was, but hopefully, no, I'm not gonna put that in. Cut that bit out. So yeah. That was really Irish accent there, wow. Yeah.